Good morning, all. Today we are going to start our third topic in the plant tissue culture and biotechnology. And third topic is nutrient media for plant tissue culture. So if you'll see how when we are culturing the any plant cells and tissue culture in the artificial environment or in vitro condition, then plant tissue and cells required to grow and to produce development, we have to provide supportive conditions. So supportive condition in terms of media and aseptic environment we have to provide. So when we are providing nutrient media in the optimum concentration and whatever amount they are required, then only plant will grow in the optimum. Otherwise, the growth of the plant will be suppressed. Now, how we have to choose on which basis we can able to select the nutrient component so that plant can able to grow, show the maximum growth. So it is a very important factor that we have to choose the correct concentration of the media so that plant can able to show the a perfect growth in the given condition. So the growth and the development and the morphogenesis of the plant can be depend on the composition of the media. So what type of composition if you are providing, that type of growth you will achieve. If you are providing the optimum composition of the media, then growth will be become optimum. So basic nutrient requirement of the any culture plant cells and tissues, if you are providing, the whole plant will be show optimum growth. Otherwise, the if you are providing unoptimized media, then the growth and the development of the plant will be also unoptimized. So several formulation is produced by the scientists, and they are all having some major component and major minor component of the chemicals. And these all component, major, minor, vitamins, amino acid, they are all supporting the growth requirement of the plant so that the plant can able to give the optimum growth and the development. So majority of the cells and tissue culture work, they are formulated many type of growth regulators inside the plant tissue culture media. Now we have many type of formulation including the described by the White and Murashige and Spook, Gamborg, Shank and Haverland, Nist, Lloyd and McClown. And among these are all Murashige and Spook media, which we are also calling MS media. So Murashige and Spook, they are the scientists, and they gave the very supporting media for maximum amount numbers of plant. They can able to support all type of plant growth and development. And other type of important media is Chang and Haberland SH media and Gambo's B5 media. So MS media, which is more supportive than other type of medium, and we are considering very very basic media for the growth and the development of the plant tissues. So plant tissues and cell culture when we are doing in the laboratory condition. So when we are kind of making in vitro culture of these are all components. So when we are culturing media, and we have to mix the many macronutrient, many micronutrient, vitamins, amino acids, and nitrogen supplement, and carbon source or energy source also you have to add. Sometimes you have to add the undefined organic supplements. Sometimes you can, if you are produce, you can able to produce the solidified media or non-solidified type of media, or like liquid media also you can able to use it for the plant tissue culture. So you can add the gelling agent inside the media so that the media can be in the form of the gel. If you are not adding, then it media will be in the liquid form. So according to your need, you can able to add the gelling agent. Then you can add also the growth regulators in the media so that the plant will grow optimally. So these are all the various component, and these are all different components you have to add in the various concentration, so that the media will be a perfect type of media and it will support growth and the development in vitro condition. Now, one by one we will discuss. First, we will see the macronutrient. So, macronutrient provide these optimum concentration, and these macronutrient we decided on the basis of the plant requirement. So these six macronutrient is there, and these six macronutrient plant required in high amount. That's why we are calling major nutrient or macronutrient. So major nutrient composite of the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. These six elements the plant cells and tissue required in high amount or high concentration. So we are calling macronutrient. And these six elements is also required in various biochemical and physiological activity. They are very essential. If these macronutrient, if we are not adding in the media in the optimum concentration, then the plant growth will be reduced. So nitrogen, we know that it is present in the DNA, RNA, and vitamins and proteins, and many organic reactions is depend on the nitrogen, and it is the basic component. Then phosphorus and potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur also very important type of element, and they are also taking part in the many biochemical and metabolic activity. And if we are not adding in proper concentration, then the growth of the media will be suppressed. Now, the optimum concentration of each nutrient for achieving maximum growth and rates, we have to add in the perfect concentration, so that they will achieve the optimum growth and development. So, culture media should contain at least 25 to 60 millimolar of inorganic nitrogen, and this will be adequate for the cell development and the growth. So 25 to 60 millimolar at least we have to add in the media, and this will be a optimum concentration for nitrogen. If you can be increase from 25 to 30 and 40, because each plant they are depend they require different concentration. There is no fixed concentration. Means we can't follow the 25 millimolar for every plant. Some plant required more nitrogen, some plant required less nitrogen. So when we are preparing the media inside the laboratory, we have to choose these concentration, and first we have to optimize it. So when we will optimize, so we will able to know on which concentration it will be grow maximum. So for that, what we have to do, we have to test every concentration, means 25, 26, 27, 28. You have to test it, and in this different concentration, the plant will grow maximum. That concentration we have to select it, and this that concentration only we have to use it. So 25 to 60 millimolar we have to choose, and we have to prepare the media using this 25 to 60 millimolar concentration. And when we will prepare this 25 to 60 millimolar concentration in the media, and in any one concentration, the plant will show the maximum growth. So that concentration is the optimum concentration. So likewise, other major component we have to select it, and we have to prepare we have to test it, and we can able to optimize the every concentration. Then potassium is very essential type of element, and it is required for the cell growth of the most plant species. And we are adding potassium separately as a nitrate and chloride. So potassium nitrate and potassium chloride we are adding, and we are adding in 20 to 30 millimolar concentration. So again, we have to optimize same how we optimized by the nitrogen concentration. So 20, 21, 23, 24 to 30 millimolar concentrations we have to prepare, and we have to check the growth of the plant, so that we will able to know on which concentration the plant will grow maximum, and so that concentration we can able to use for the media preparation. So potassium is very important, and if we are not adding in between 20 to 30 millimolar concentration, what will happen? The growth of the plant will be hampered, and we will not achieve the optimum growth of the plant. Then concentration of phosphorus, magnesium, sulfur, and calcium is there. We have to add in the media from 1 molar to 1 millimolar to 3 millimolar. So 1 to 3 millimolar we have to add in the uh, media, and we can check by adding. We are preparing the media by 1 millimolar, 2 millimolar, 3 millimolar, and on this uh, composition, if plant is growing optimum, so we can able to use for the media preparation. Higher concentration also we can use it if the plant is required more higher concentration. They can't able to show growth and development on 1 to 3 millimolar concentration. So when 1 to 3 millimolar concentration when we are using, so 1 to 3 millimolar, if it is not sufficient, then we can also increase it. So every concentration we have to optimize it. If we are using optimized concentration, then only it will go. Otherwise, they can't able to grow. Any deficiency in this concentration, like less than 1 millimolar, if you are using, so the deficiency can able to cause the some disease, and those disease can hamper the plant growth and the development. Now micronutrient also there, and these micronutrients also very essential for the plant growth and the development, and it's include the iron, manganese, zinc, boron, copper, and molybdenum. These macronutrient and micronutrient we have to prepare separately, because when we are preparing micronutrient and macronutrient combinedly, these micronutrient and macronutrient can able to form PPTs, and then that PPTs later on can't able to utilize by the plant. And this PPT when we are forming by when we are mixing micronutrient and macronutrient, we always have to avoid this mixing when we are mixing inappropriately, so they will form the PPTs. So macronutrient and micronutrient we always have to prepare separately, and then later on first we have to dissolve the macronutrient in the distilled water, then we have to dissolve the micronutrient. So in this manner, if we will prepare the media, then this macronutrient and micronutrient they will not form the PPTs for precipitation. So we have to add the iron, zinc, manganese, boron, copper, and molybdenum. These are all elements we can add in the water, and iron can be added in the gelated form, and zinc are commonly used in the preparing the uh, tissue culture media. Then iron may be the is the most critical useful element for the plant tissue culture, and iron citrate and our iron tartrate we can add in the plant tissue culture media. But these components are difficult to dissolve and frequently precipitate after media. So when we are adding iron citrate and tartrate, it is not appropriate to dissolve very easily. So what we have to do, we have to give little bit heat. So when we are giving little bit heat, these elements can like iron tartrate and iron citrate can able to dissolve very easily in the media. So murashigine is to use an ethyl diamine tetraacetic acid EDTA iron chelate compound, and this EDTH iron chelate compound can be dissolved very easily compared to iron citrate and iron tartrate. So EDTA of iron can able to utilized very easily, and in Washington and Stoop media we are using this EDTA iron chelate compound. Then carbon energy source, and every plant required carbon source and energy source, and most of the compound which is we are providing as a carbon source, they can also be useful for the energy source. So many carbohydrate is there like glucose, fructose, and sucrose. We can use the as a carbon source, and glucose and fructose we can able to use it, and sometimes if glucose is not utilizing, or we don't have, then we can use the fructose and sucrose. And glucose being as more effective compared to sucrose and fructose because they can directly uptake by the plant and they can directly utilize as as it is. And fructose and sucrose also you can add as if glucose is not available. Then carbohydrate that have been tested include other type of carbohydrate like lactose, galactose, raffinose, and maltose and starch. But they can also be utilized by the plant cells and tissues. But because they have to convert into the glucose and they can able to utilize for the energy production. Yeah, definitely they can able to absorb carbon from these lactose, galactose, and raffinose, maltose, and starch, and we can also use these carbohydrate for the plant tissue culture media preparation. Now, sucrose concentration of culture media normally range between 2 to 3%, and when we are autoclaving the fructose in the media, it can be determinant for the cell growth. And when we are increasing the concentration of glucose, fructose, and sucrose, then media is very prone for the attacking of the microorganism. So to avoid the microorganism taking, we are adding little bit amount of antibiotic and antifungal compound so that this will be work as a media preservative. So 2 to 3% carbohydrate we are adding as a carbon source and as an energy source. The next very essential type of component is vitamins. So normally plants synthesize the vitamins required for their growth and development, and vitamins are required by plant as catalyst in various metabolic process. And these process is totally depend on the vitamin concentration. If vitamin concentration is available in the media, so plant will be show as a maximum growth and need development. Otherwise, if vitamins is not available in the media, then they can't able to show maximum growth. And many vitamins they can synthesize by their own, but since when we are culturing the very small explant in the media, so initially they required the vitamin concentration. So initially we are adding the vitamins, and when they will be grown fully, so they can able to synthesize their own vitamin. But initially we have to add the vitamins in the media. Then later on they can able to catalyze, they can able to absorb the vitamins from the media and they can able to utilize it directly. So plant cell and tissues are grown in vitro, and some vitamins may become limiting factor of the cell growth cells, and they can't able to show maximum growth. Then most frequently used cell and tissue culture vitamins include thiamine, B1, then vitamin B3, pyridoxine B6, and myoinositol. So B1, B3, B6, and myoinositol we are adding in the Murashigen is food media, and thiamine is the one vitamin that is basically required by all cell of. If we are not adding thiamine in the Murashigen school media, then it will be the limiting factor for the plant growth and the development. So thiamine we have to aid in optimum concentration in the media, and with that some necessary vitamin like nicotinic acid, pyridoxine, and myoinositol also we are adding. Then amino acid and other nutrient supplement also there, and these amino acid and other nutrient supplements we have to aid for the culture cells. They are normally capable of synthesizing all of the required amino acid, and the addition of certain amino acid or amino acid mixture may we can able to use to stimulate the growth of the plant tissue culture. So these nitrogen supplement, if we are adding nitrogen based compound, then it will increase the growth and the development of the plant only. So the additional supplements, nitrogen based compounds and amino acid, or we can say supplement we can add in the media. So the use of amino acid is particularly important for establishing cell culture and protoplast culture. So for the protoplast culture means when we are isolating the cells, and these cells will be cell wall-less. When we are isolating cell wall-less cells, and these cells we are calling protoplasts. And when we are culturing these protoplasts, they required more amino acids, so we have to provide more amino acid and nitrogen supplement when we are culturing the single cell or protoplast. Then wide variety of organic extract also we can add to culture media, and often these supplement it is result in the favorable tissue responses. And supplements that have been tested include protein, hydrolysate, coconut milk, yeast extract, malt extract, and ground banana, orange juice, and tomato juice also we can add. These undefined organic supplement, when we are adding in the media, we we can say, because the concentration is unknown, the component of the yeast extract, malt extract, ground banana, orange juice, and tomato juice is undefined, because the what elemental concentration is there, what chemicals is present in these component, we don't know. That's why we are calling undefined organic supplement. So many scientists use these component undefined component, and they are tested with different type of plant tissue culture. Then next, solidifying agent and supportive system. So plant, when we are growing inside the tissue culture media, the media can should be semi-solid or solid type of media. When we are adding agar into the media, this agar can be jellified, and it will give the semi-solid and solid type of media. So agar concentration we can optimize if we require semi-solid media or solid media. And agar is mixed like a powder, and to make a gel we have to melt the agar, and on the 60 to 100 degree centigrade agar will be melted, and when we are cooling down this melted agar, it will convert into the semi-solid and solidifying. So media can be semi-solid and solidified, and using agar concentration we can add differently. So on the 45 degree or 50 degree, the agar starts solidifying, and it will give the semi-solid and solid type of agar. If we are not adding the agar concentration in the media, then what will happen? If we are not adding the agar concentration in the media, then the media will be liquidified, and these liquidified media can not support the plant cells and tissue, and plant cells and tissue will go inside the media, and they will suffocate, uh, because uh, they will not get the oxygen from the environment, and they will suffocate, and these tissues and cells will die. That's why when we are culturing the plant tissues and cells, these cells and tissues always on the surface of the plant tissue culture media. So if we will use liquid media, these tissues and cells, they cannot be on the surface of the media, they will go inside the media, and they will suffocate and they will die. So that's why we have to use the supporting system, and for supporting system we are using agar. And this agar, we can use another type of gelling agent also is there, like gelatin is there, gum is also there, but agar is more suitable type of gelling agent, since agar don't have any type of activity, and it is type of polysaccharide, and the plant and bacteria and fungi, they can't able to utilize this agar as a energy source and carbon source. It's not present, it don't have any nutritional quality. So the only gelling purpose we are adding the agar in the media. Then agar gels are stable at the feasible incubation temperature. And when we are incubating after the inoculation of tissues and cells, then agar will be very stable at the 24 to 26 degree temperature. So agar gels do not react with the media also, and instead constituent and are not digested by plant enzymes and bacterial enzymes. So when they are not able to utilize by the plant and bacterial enzyme bacteria, so that we can easily utilize for the gelling agent. Apart from these are all constituent, chemical constituent, micro vitamins, amino acid, nitrogen supplement, and gelling agent and carbon source and energy source. So apart from these are all component, we also had the growth regulator. And in previous presentation, we discussed the many type of plant growth regulator. This growth regulator is very important for controlling the growth of the plant. Since plant ever cannot support their own production of the auxin, cytokinin, and gibberellic and other different type of phytohormones, so we have to provide in the medium these growth regulator, and we can able to control it. So auxin, cytokinins, gibberellic acid, abscisic acid, and ethylene, and some synthetic growth regulator is there. And these growth regulator, when we are adding in the media, they can able to support. Uh, we can easily control the growth of the plant. When we are using growth regulator, first we have to prepare stock solution. And media stock solution and growth regulator is stock solution separately we have to prepare. So stock solution we can prepare separately for the macronutrient, for the micronutrient, and vitamins and vitamins, amino acid, and carbon source. These are all stock solution we can prepare separately. And hormonal phytohormone concentration also we can prepare separately. So like 1x we are going to use for the normal plant tissue culture. If you are going to prepare the concentrated stock solution, then you can be utilized for many time when you are preparing the plant tissue culture media. So use of stock solution reduce the number of repetitive operation, because when you are preparing every time you are weighing and dissolving the media composition in the water, it will take at least half day to weigh the every chemical, and then you are dissolving. So to save time and your efforts, what we have to do, we have to weigh concentrated components like micronutrient, vitamins, and energy source. And you can concentrated component you can dissolve in less amount of water, and you can save in this stock solution into the fridge. And whenever you required, you have to dilute it up to the 1x, so that 1x concentration you can utilize for the plant tissue culture purpose. Stock solution is the chance of experimental error will we can able to reduce it, since we are preparing into the 10x, 20x, or 50x time we are preparing concentrated media. And one more benefit is there when we are preparing a stock solution. When we are preparing a stock solution, so a stock solution is very safe from the microorganism, and microorganism can't able to attack on the stock solution because it is highly concentrated. The chances of error is there when we are diluting and when we are preparing. So if we are not preparing the correct concentration, suppose you have to prepare the 10x stock solution, but you dissolve only 5 times and you are assuming it is 10x concentration. So when you are making mistakes in the calculation, then the stock solution concentration would be less or high. So your ultimate when you are diluting and making the normal media concentration, it will be problem for plants, and the plant growth and development will be hampered. So when we are preparing exact amount of the stock solution, so we should always calculate very carefully, and we always have to weigh the uh, correct concentration so that stock solution will be formed correctly. And when we are diluting, so dilution calculation also we have to prepare very accurately, so that the after the dilution your 1x concentration will be ready. So for the most of the laboratories they are preparing, So most of the stock solution, they are preparing the 10x concentration, and these 10x concentration can be diluted to 1x concentration very easily. So 10 times they have to increase the concentration for the stock solution preparation, and these 10x solution can be diluted into the 1x concentration. So direct weighing of the media component like micronutrient and hormones, amino acid, that are required only in the milligram when we are preparing the 1x concentration. But when we are formulating the large quantity of the media, so it is better we can able to prepare the stock solution. So for a stock solution, if we have to see what requirement is there. If you require large quantity, so stock solution you can prepare in the large quantity, like 50x and 100x, and this 50x or 100x can be diluted into the 1x, and it can be utilized for the media preparation. And storage also very easy when you are preparing these large concentrated stock solution. And stock solution can able to just put, you can put inside the 100 ml stock solution stock bottle, and these bottles can be easily preserved in the refrigerator. And whenever you have to utilize it, just you can take it out, you can put on the normal temperature, and when they will come on the normal temperature, you can dilute it from 100x to 1x or 10x to 1x. And many labs they are preparing stock solution and can be they are divide them into the adequate sufficient to prepare 1 to 10 liter of the media, and these adequates are stored in small vials or brown color bottles, and they can keep these brown color bottle into the fridge, and they can store for the 6 months. Up to 6 months they can able to utilize it. So suppose if your laboratory required less amount of the media, then you just prepare 5x stock solution. If your requirement is in the large quantity of media and daily you are preparing the media, then you can able to prepare 100x or 50x concentration of the stock solution. So up to the 6 month or 7 month, you can able to use these stock solution. Then the procedure of removes the inconvenience of having an undue and large volume of frozen stock. Each time media is prepared, heating is in the microwave oven is a satisfactory and quick method for chewing and concentrated media. And when we are keeping these stock solution into the refrigeration, so refrigeration can able to put these stock solutions in the very low temperature. So when we are when we are bringing them into the normal temperature, we it required little bit more time. So queuing can able to achieve when we are give less amount of microwave heating, and then it will come into the very quickly onto the normal temperature. So from this stock we can able to dilute it, and after the dilution we can able to uh, come into the 1x. So normally 5x, 10x, 50x, 100x or 200x also we can able to prepare the stock solution. And these stocks are stored on the 4 degree temperature, so they cannot be on the ice, and they cannot generate ice. And the amount of the concentrated stock is mixed to prepare 1 liter or 2 liter or 5 liter media in a very short time. Very important, one of the very important media is Murashige and Scoop media. Murashige and Scoop, they are the scientists, and they gave this media in 1962. It is a revised medium for rapid growth and bioassay for the tobacco tissue culture, and this media can be utilized for every type of plant in the normal condition. And in many laboratory all over the world, they are using this Murashige and Scoop prescribed media. We will see what concentrations and composition is there for the Murashige and Scoop media. So first is major salt concentration. There are 5 major salts we are adding in the Murashige and Scoop media. First one is the ammonium nitrate is there, and for 1 liter or 1x concentration you have to have 1650 milligram for 1 liter. And if you are preparing 20x concentration, so you have to multiply by the 20x and 20 time concentration, so 16.5 gram you have to add in the 500 ml stock solution. Then KNO3 is there. You have to add for 1x concentration 1900 milligram, and calcium chloride dihydrated chemical you have to add for 50 milligram in 1 liter media. Then magnesium sulfate 7 hydrated you have to dissolve into the 1 liter media, 370 milligram. Then KH2PO4 also you have to take 170 milligram. So if you will see, major salts is having nitrogen, hydrogen, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and hydrogen and phosphate ions. And these are all ions can be, when we are dissolving, they will change into the ion, and they can be utilized as a media component. Then some minor salts also there. Minor salts, 7 minor salts we are adding in Washige and spoon media. So first one is the H3VO3, and 6.2 milligram per liter we have to add. Then magnesium sulfate tetrahydrate chemical is there, and this chemical we can add 22.3 milligram per liter. Then zinc sulfate and tetrahydrate is there, and 8.6 milligram per liter we have to add. Then potassium iodide we have to add 0.83 milligram per liter. Then disodium molybdate we have to add dihydrate molecules, and 0.25 milligram we have to add in 1 liter. Then cobalt chloride and hexahydrate is there, and 0.025 milligram per liter we have to add. Then copper sulfate pentahydrate we have to add 0.025 milligram per liter concentration. So these seven component is there for minor salt, and we can also prepare for the 200x. So 200 time we can able to multiply it, and we can add into the 500 ml stock solution, and we can prepare easily. And when we are going to prepare 1x media, we can dilute it 200 times. The next component or major composition of the vitamins is four type of vitamins we are preparing in the media. Thiamine, HCLs we are adding zero point 0.1 milligram in 1 liter media. Then niacin 0.5 milligram in 1 liter media. Then glycines also we have to add in 2.0 milligram per 1 liter media. Pyridoxine HCl also we are adding in zero point 0.5 milligram per ml per liter media. So thiamine, niacin, glycine, and pyridoxine HCl we are adding as a vitamin source. Then iron separately we have to prepare as a stock solution. Iron is a major salt, and we are not preparing in the major salt solution, because when we are dissolving iron in the major salt stocks, they will make precipitate, and it will disturb the media formation. So iron always we have to prepare separately. So we can take 3.725 gram of disodium EDTA or ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid diasodium salt into 50 ml of the distilled water. And we can also dissolve 2.785 gram of FeSO4 and 7H2O into 50 ml of distilled water, and we have to little bit boil it, so that disodium salt of this disodium salt of EDTA can be easily dissolved in the water. So FeSO4 solution we have to gently stirring, so that FeSO4 also can be easily dissolved into the iron stock solution. Then plant growth regulator also we have to prepare separately, and these plant growth regulator is heat labile, and that's why we can't able to give heat every time. If we are adding into the media, and we are autoclaving several times, so these growth regulator will be destroyed, and you will not achieve the optimum growth and development of the plant tissues and cells. So when we are preparing these growth regulator, and when we are adding these growth regulator, So we can add in the media these growth regulator for the filtration method. So syringe filter is available, and the syringe filter is having 0.22 micrometer filter membrane, and very easily just suction, we can able to suction the using this filter, and we can filter it so that the microbes can't able to cross this filter, because the size of the filter membrane is very small compared to the size of the microorganism. So when we are not doing autoclave of these growth regulator, we can able to easily filter it, and we can able to transfer it on the media. So when we are doing autoclave on one time or two time, then it's okay. When we are doing autoclave again and again, these growth regulator will be destroyed very easily. So growth regulator also we can prepare a stock solution, and stock solution we can add like benzyl, aminopurine, we can uh, prepare in the stock solution, and it is dissolved in the one normal NaOH. And if you want to prepare a stock solution, so 225.2 milligram per ml you can make a stock solution. Then NaA is also there, naphthalene acetic acid. It is a oxime, and it is heat labile. So you can't able to autoclave naphthalene acetic acid. So what you have to do for that, you have to filter it, and 186.2 milligram per ml you can able to prepare the stock solution in ethanol. So naphthalene acetic acid is dissolved in the ethanol, and BAP, benzyl aminopurine, 6 benzyl aminopurine is dissolved in 1 NaOH. Now, some books is very important for your further reading if you want to study. So, Plant Cells and Tissue Culture by the Jeffrey Pollard and John and Walker is there. It is a good book. These books can able to describe the methods of the plant tissue culture. Then Plant Cell and Tissue Culture Biotechnology is there by Hossein and B.M. Sharif. Then next book is Applied and Fundamental Aspect of Plant Cell Tissue and Organ Culture by Jacob Reinert and Yashpal S. Bajaj is there. Then another book, Plant Cell and Tissue and Organ Culture Fundamental Methods is there, and this is a Springer Lab manual, and it's written by the Olaf Gamborg and Gregory C. Phillips. The next book is Plant Cell and Tissue Culture by Satyanarayan Swami is there, and it is also a very good book. Then another book is Introduction to Plant Cell and Tissue and Organ Culture is there by S.D. Grohe. Then next book, Plant Cell and Tissue Culture by the Dr. Manipal Singh Shekhawat is there, and these are all very good books if you want to study. These are all books, and it will be benefited for your knowledge. Then some of the very important questions we will see here. The first question is the pair of hormones required for a callus to differentiate are. So first option is ethylene and auxine. Then option B is auxine and cytokinin. Option C is auxine and abscisic acid. And option D is cytokinin and gibberellic acid. Then next question, who is the father of plant tissue culture? So option A is Alexander Fleming. Option B is Gottlieb Haberland. Option C is Gary Mullis. And option D is Leeuwenhoek. So you have to select the any right one, my right answer. Then next question, laminar aerial flow branch is used for the following reason. Except A option is preparing media, B option is transferring explant, C option is aseptic transfer, D option for the culture. Then next question is zinc as micronutrient is used in culture media for. A option is protein synthesis, B option is DNA replication, C option is enzyme synthesis, D option is for photosynthesis. So you have to select any one right answer. Then next question is calcium used in nutrient media is the main component of part of the plant. So option A is mitochondria, option B is endoplasmic reticulum, then option C is Golgi bodies, then option D cell wall and cell membrane synthesis. So you have to select any one right answer. Then next question is activated charcoal is used in the nutrient media formation. So option A is for absorbing toxic substances. Then option B, absorb moisture content. Then C, absorb element. Then D, absorb microbes. So you have to select any one correct answer. Then next question, selection of culture media depend on option A is type of plant species used. Option B is time for preparation for culture media. Then option C, cost of the preparation. Then D option, maintenance of the plant tissue culture media. So you have to select any one correct answer. Then last question is the type of the cell culture media. So a organ tissue culture type of is the cell type of culture. Then B is a protoplast culture. Then C is a callus culture, and D is a explant culture. So you have to select the any one right answer. So this is the end of this topic, and we will meet you in the next topic. Thank you.